Hey everybody. Yeah, hi. This week is supposed to be like a fluff week where we can come up with our own topic that's sort of, less serious and focused than the videos we usually do. But since I've missed a lot of those more serious topics, I thought I would just sort of split up the video into two segments of on two of the more serious topics that I missed that I really kind of wanted to talk about. So, one of them is how do you define your gender? And the other one is what is your dream transition? Yeah, for how do we define our gender? So I've sort of talked about this before, but I don't remember if my answer has changed. I know it's changed in one factor, which is that I'm more sure of myself that I actually am gender fluid. Before, I wasn't sure if, you know, I thought, maybe I'm gender fluid, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I just have one static gender, but it's just my gender expression or desired gender presentation that I feel shifting. But I'm pretty sure now that that's not the case. Like, I think I said, like, earlier, I don't know, was it a couple months ago? Whatever. At some point in my life on the internet, I said, I'm like 80% sure that I'm gender fluid. And now I'm like 90% sure. And honestly, like, it's strange. I prefer to just describe myself as non-binary at first, with gender fluid as like a second added part, or just a description of how exactly I'm non-binary, because I mean, I I think like when someone else says that they're gender fluid to me, what comes to my mind is someone who switches, who like their gender is fluid very very often. Like, but like for me it's like most of the time I'm just my own gender, which is like other. And there are a couple words I can use to describe it. I guess what I like my favorite one is maverick, which is coined by Vesper. You should go check out their channel, Queer as Cat. They're pretty cool. But there are other words which like are basically synonymous, at least the way I see them, like apora gender or alia gender. It's just all words. They all mean a gender which is not male or female or neutral. Like, you know. And so I use those words whenever someone actually asks me to describe myself, but I don't really use those words in my head. In my head, I just sort of think of it using colors. Like, I think of primary colors: red, blue, and yellow. And so, like, you know, with these colors, you can't break them up or separate them into any more colors. So I sort of think of blue, like if blue were male and red were female, then my gender would be yellow. So, like, that's just the easiest way, like, that's the way to describe it that comes into my head. Like, it's not, I guess, in this color analogy, being gender neutral or neutral, I think that's how you say it, would sort of be like being gray, or maybe like black. No, probably gray. I don't know. And like maybe being like bi gender, with male and female would be like being purple. So like it's just really easy for me to think that way. But another way I like to think about it is using the moon and the sun and the earth. So in like almost every culture, the moon and the sun are assigned genders. A lot of times, and what we're used to in Western society is that the moon is associated with females and femininity, and the sun is associated with males and masculinity. So sometimes it's the other way around, but basically, so I guess in this case, I kind of like my gender would be the Earth, the planet, or the planets, because like whenever someone is thinking like about using like the moon or the sun as a symbol to represent gender, no one thinks about the Earth, and no one like thinks to gender the Earth. And even if they did, it wouldn't really be like, you couldn't really say like, oh, the Earth is similar enough to the moon, so we'll just associate it with the same gender, or with the sun, because the moon, the sun, and the Earth, they all have like what their like definition and what they're made of is, and just the way that they move, it's all completely different. So it's just, yeah. And I mean, those aren't the only celestial bodies. Like there are like asteroids and like, okay, I honestly don't know that much about space, but basically, each sun, each star, each moon, each planet, it's its own gender. And it's kind of making me think about what Joe was saying about how they're galaxy gender. But I mean, I don't identify as that, but I just feel like the whole moon, sun, gender binary sort of using the planet Earth as a counterpart to that, just, I don't know. I hope it gets my point across well. Like, if I was explaining it to myself, it would get my point across well. The rare times that I feel female or male are pretty weird, and I don't know if I would identify, like, 100% at those times with either gender, or if it would just be partially. So, as for my dream transition, wow, if I had, like, endless money or a magic wand or something. Okay, so first of all, I would get top surgery. Absolutely. First thing I would do, the most important thing I would do, if, I had to, I've already decided, like, people say, like, oh, why don't you start saving up for a car? And I'm like, if I had a couple $1,000 hanging around, you think I'd waste it on a car when I can get rid of this, like, these two huge dysphoria containers on my chest? Like, I mean, a car would make my life a lot easier when I'm going to and from work and school and like talking to friends and stuff. Then it would make my life a lot easier. But having top surgery would make my life a lot easier whenever I am thinking about myself, looking at myself, or conscious of my body in any way. So you can see how that would cover a lot more time and a lot more important activities than having a car to get to and from work and school. So yeah, that's the first thing I would do. And and then, like, once I was healed enough, I would probably get a tattoo to celebrate. Like, I've been planning that, ever since I started seriously thinking about tattoos that I was gonna get. So, like, from, like, you can't really see, from, like, mid-chest to, like, my stomach, I'm gonna have, like, a really big piece, you know, just as decoration, but it's, like, the location is so that it's, like, pretty private. So, like, if I have a low-cut shirt, or if my shirt rides up a little bit, you can't really see it, but it's not, like, on my ass or anything. But just, like, decoration, like, look at this, like, wonderful new torso I have. I'm so much more happier with it, so I'm gonna decorate it to celebrate. And then, you know, since this is a dream transition and I magically have, you know, a unlimited amount of money for this stuff, I might as well have magical powers too. So I'm gonna make, like, a magic potion that has all the effects of testosterone that I would like and none of the ones that I would not like. And really, there are more that I would not like than I would like, which is why I'm probably, I mean, definitely never going to go on testosterone. I mean, it would be great, to have increased muscle mass. That would be nice. I don't know, like, does it depend on how young you are if it broadens your shoulders? I'm not sure about that. It would be nice to have a slight deepening of my voice, because, you know, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it really bothers me to hear my voice, and I'm like, do I really sound like that? Like, do I really sound that high-pitched? Like, actually, you know, Out of This Binary and YouTube videos have helped. I guess I've become more accustomed to my voice. So, yeah, as opposed to when I would, like, almost never hear a recording of my voice, so when I did, I would be like, is that really me? I sound so weird and not like I feel like I should. So muscle mass is a big thing. Deepened voice, what else? That's, really the main things. I don't want more body hair, please. No. Sometimes, like, once in a blue moon, I, like, really wish that I could have a beard, but, like, most of the time, I'm really happy I don't, especially since, like, I don't know, like, my face is really sensitive, and my skin is generally sensitive, and it seems like it would be really itchy, even though it could also be really cool and have a lot of styling possibilities. But most of the time I'm like, no, please don't. Yeah. I don't know, I wonder how much, like, my face would look different. I was looking at a picture of myself from three or 4 years ago, when I was a lot skinnier, and I looked a lot more androgynous then. So I wonder, like, what effect that would have on my face. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would like that or not, like, having a more androgynous face. Yes, dream transition. And since I have this magic wand, I'm going to, you know what? Like, why limit myself? Like, if I can make this magic half testosterone potion, then I could make, like, detachable body parts, right? Like, maybe I could have, like, on days when I feel like I want a beard, I could just, like, wave my wand and I would grow a beard. And then if I didn't want it anymore, I would wave my wand and it would all fall out and I wouldn't, you know, grow anymore, or have stubble, or have to shave or anything like that. Which would be useful for just all other unwanted body hair. Like, no fuss, don't have to spend any time shaving. Yeah, that would be really useful. Someone should invent this. So yeah, that's my dream transition, and yeah, I like to think about the details, but really the only what's the word? The only realistic option, and the only the only option that, and it's the most important one, so that's good, but is the top surgery. I'm probably not going to be able to afford top surgery for several years. But, maybe in that time, like, we can, I don't know, have some sort of, like, queer utopia where, like, Bernie Sanders is elected president and he rearranges all of the tax laws and like if a really like if a millionaire or a billionaire can spend a few $1,000s on like some shoes, I think that they can donate it to a broke college kid who needs some life-changing surgery. And seriously, like, I don't know why, like, I think it was a while ago I looked up the costs for top surgery, and it was like, even if you get insurance to cover some of it, it's like $6,000. And I saw a video of parts of of a bilateral double mastectomy, and it doesn't take a long time. Like, and I mean, you have to have a lot of skill, and like obviously you have to have a lot of training to be a doctor, but like once you are a doctor and you have like experience doing that, like it was I mean, it's not fucking open heart surgery. It's just a bunch of breast tissue and fat. And some surgeons even manage to mess it up, but I mean, it's like, do you really need to charge $1,000 an hour for something which is life-saving for some people? Like, seriously? Like, come on, like, make your money off of, I don't know, celebrity nose jobs or whatever. But, like, just do, like, it would be great if people would do a little bit more to help us live lives free of dysphoria. I think a lot of people don't understand that it's not the same as like bad self-esteem or bad body image. It's wow. Okay, so this video has been going on for 30 minutes. It's gonna be a bitch to edit. If you want to hear more, check out my channel. Gonna be posting video probably tomorrow while I procrastinate studying for finals next week. Okay, bye. And if you guys have finals too, good luck. Don't spend too much time on the internet like I will be trying valiantly not to do this weekend.